still going, tied 4-4. All right, gentlemen, it is 8 o'clock. Score update. Anything else? Oh.
Hello and welcome to the College Baseball Update. I'm Brock Gorton.
And I'm Benjamin Duncan.
This past week has seen college conference champions crowned. As the tournaments have all wrapped up, Ben. All conference tournaments are over. So now,
they have?
Yeah, they're all over. We're on to regionals and the 64-team war to see who will be playing in that wonderful city on the banks of the Missouri River as the road to Omaha, like many years before, filled with heartbreak, jubilation, sacrifice, and triumph, have begun. But before the road begins, Ben, let's take a look to see the teams who didn't have to sweat it out on Memorial Day to be selected to be fighting for Omaha. Ben, if you would, the conference champions from this year who got the automatic bids into the bracket for the road to Omaha.
All right. So out of the America East, we have Bryant, the American, Tulane, the ASUN, Stetson, Atlantic 10, VCU, ACC, Duke, Big 12, Oklahoma State, Big East, St. John's, Big South, High Point, Big 10, Nebraska, Big West, UC Santa Barbara, CAA, UNC Wilmington, Conference USA, Dallas Baptist, Horizon, Northern Kentucky, Ivy, Penn, MAAC, Niagara, MAC, Western Michigan, Missouri Valley, Evansville, Mountain West, Fresno State, NEC, Long Island, Ohio Valley, Southeast Missouri, Pac-12, Arizona, Patriot, Army, SEC, Tennessee, Southern, Wofford, Southland, Nichols, SWAC, Grambling, Summit, Oral Roberts, Sunbelt, Southern Mississippi, WCC, San Diego, and WAC, Grand Canyon.
Grand Canyon got in because the team that actually won their conference is in the 5-year waiting period as they transition from D2 to D1. So Grand Canyon
Is the team that can't go James Madison?
No. Why would they be in the WAC?
I have no idea.
No. So Grand Canyon gets the automatic bid to represent the WAC. However, only 16 teams can host a regional, Ben. And the NCAA had some humdingers this year. As for where the regionals are, I'll just say one and you will say the other. Athens, Georgia, with Georgia, who went 39-15, is hosting a regional.
Chapel Hill, North Carolina. North Carolina hosting at 42-13.
Charlottesville, Virginia, as the Who's of Virginia went 41-15.
Clemson, South Carolina, as Clemson went 41-14.
Bryan College Station, Texas, Texas A&M, 44-13 on the year.
Corvallis, Oregon, Oregon State went 42-14.
Fayetteville, Arkansas, where the Razorbacks of Arkansas went 43-14.
Greenville, North Carolina, as East Carolina went 43-15.
Knoxville, Tennessee, as the Volunteers went 50-11 this year and maintained the number one ranking throughout the year to end the year.
Lexington, Kentucky, as Kentucky went 40-14.
Norman, Oklahoma. Oklahoma, who went 37-19 on the year.
Oh, God. Let's see. Raleigh, North Carolina. NC State went 33-20.
Santa Barbara, California.
I said that correctly, right?
Yes, you did. Santa Barbara, California. UC Santa Barbara, 42-12.
Stillwater, Oklahoma. Oklahoma State going 40-17.
Tallahassee, Florida. Florida State, 42-15.
And Tucson, Arizona, with Arizona going 36-21.
Yes, by far the most surprising team to host a regional this year, but they did win the Pac-12. Now it's time to take a closer look as to who will be playing in each region. The number one top region, Knoxville, Tennessee, as it is Tennessee, Northern Kentucky, Indiana, and Southern Miss.
In the Lexington Regional in Lexington, Kentucky, number 2 Kentucky versus Western Michigan, and Illinois versus Indiana State.
Number 3 overall regional is Bryan College Station, as Texas A&M drew themselves, Grambling, Texas, and Louisiana, the Ragin' Cajuns.
In the Chapel Hill Regional, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, number 4 North Carolina versus Long Island, and Wofford versus LSU.
Fayetteville, number 5 Arkansas State, Southeast Missouri State, Kansas State, and Louisiana Tech.
In the Clemson Regional, Clemson, South Carolina, number 6 Clemson versus High Point, and Coastal Carolina versus Vanderbilt.
Number 7 regional is Georgia in Athens against Army, Georgia Tech, and UC Wilmington. UNC.
In the Tallahassee Regional in Tallahassee, Florida, number 8 Florida State versus Stetson, and UCF versus Alabama.
In the Norman Regional in Norman, Oklahoma, the number 9 Oklahoma Sooners, Oral Roberts, UConn, and the ACC champion Duke Blue Devils.
In the Raleigh Regional in Raleigh, North Carolina, number 10 NC State versus Bryant, and James Madison versus South Carolina.
In the Stillwater Regional in Stillwater, Oklahoma, number 11 Oklahoma State versus Niagara, and Florida versus Nebraska.
In the Charlottesville Regional in Charlottesville, Virginia, number 12 Virginia versus Penn, and St. John's versus Mississippi State.
Tucson Regional, Arizona versus Grand Canyon, West Virginia versus Dallas Baptist.
In the Santa Barbara Regional in Santa Barbara, California, we have number 14 UC Santa Barbara versus Fresno State, and Oregon versus San Diego.
Corvallis Regional, Corvallis, Oregon. Number 15, Oregon State versus Tulane, and Nichols versus UC Irvine.
And finally, in the Greenville Regional in Greenville, North Carolina, number 16 East Carolina versus Evansville, and VCU versus Wake Forest.
All right, Ben, we now have the regionals and who is participating in them. Now, who do you have as a region of death that you're looking at here?
I just want to say, why do they have Tulane having to be flown out to Corvallis, Oregon, my guy?
Well, to be
That
fair,
is,
if you were looking at this, where else would you put them, and who would you switch out with them? I mean, with that same token,
that is
you
fair.
have... That's another odd...
There's a few on here that are just like, what?
There's a few that are just like, why? Otherwise, they try... I mean, you know, you got Long Island going to Chapel Hill.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they tried to keep them somewhat close to where they're from. But Ben, what is a region of death you got on here?
Oh, Clemson.
Them, High Point, Coastal Carolina, and Vanderbilt. That is a rough draw for Clemson for sure. I'm going with College Station. A&M, Texas, and Louisiana. That's a pretty bad regional of death right there.
Poor Grambling.
Yeah. Another one. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what Oklahoma State did to piss everybody off, but they got to play Florida and Nebraska.
Mm,
I don't know what they did to piss anybody off, but that's a rough one for them. Oklahoma's is. Whoo! Can you imagine how mad Duke's gonna be going into this regional?
yeah.
They don't get to host. They have to go on the road. They won the ACC tournament, and you have to go to Norman, Oklahoma.
Dang, that
You got
sucks.
that. You got a UConn team that kind of flew under the radar all year, had a pretty solid year. And then you've got the team that represented your state in the College World Series last year in Oral Roberts. Oklahoma, I don't know if you're even surviving your region, dude. I'll be honest. Any other ones that you want to highlight here, Ben?
Um, I was gonna say Chapel Hill, but I just LSU kind of sold their soul for the championship though that they got with Paul Skeens. So
Yeah. All right. What's an
I don't
easiest regional you see here?
easiest. Hmm.
Because if I gotta pick one, I'm picking. Well, I mean, without obviously Knoxville, that one's probably the easiest by far.
Yeah,
But beyond
I
Knoxville,
would probably go
we're getting.
Lexington the next one. Lexington's probably the next easiest
I'm
one.
gonna be honest. Illinois is giving Indiana State and Illinois are gonna give Kentucky issues. Indiana State's been ranked this year. Illinois has been given like Nebraska and all the other Remember, there's only like two Big Ten teams that are in this tournament. There's only two in the round of 64, and that's Nebraska and I know there's three. Indiana's in it too, but there's only three. And it's the three that were by far the best all year. I mean, for the Big Ten, that's not really saying much, but you know what I mean. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. I have a feeling about Indiana State. They hosted a super regional last year, if you remember.
Hmm.
But if I'm picking my easiest one, I'm looking at Georgia. I'm looking at Athens.
Yeah.
Georgia has beaten Georgia Tech this year. UNC Wilmington is not on the same level as Georgia and its Army, if I'm being honest. All right, it is now time, and if you would type this up, that'd be greatly appreciated, to make our predictions per region.
Okay.
So we will start at Region 1. Please don't do it on this document.
Ugh.
This is also going to be on the website.
Okay.
So region number 1, Knoxville Regional, Tennessee, Northern Kentucky, Indiana, and Southern Miss. Ben, are we both going to say the Volunteers here?
Yeah.
All right. So we both have Tennessee. Lexington Regional, Kentucky, Western Michigan, Illinois, and Indiana State.
I'm gonna go with Kentucky.
Kentucky's been playing good. Indiana State's peered off, and that's the only one that I see standing up to Kentucky. So yeah, I'll go with Kentucky. College Station Regional, A&M, Grambling, Texas, and Louisiana, Lafayette.
A&M.
Yeah, they were the number one team in college baseball for a good portion of the year this year. They only fell because Tennessee got hot at the right time. Chapel Hill Regional, North Carolina, Long Island, Warford, and LSU, the defending national champions.
I'm sorry, LSU, but you're not gonna make it.
Who you
I'm
going
saying
with?
North Carolina.
All right. I think there is some voodoo still going on in LSU because they have rallied this year pretty hard at the tail end to make it to the tournament, SEC tournament. They had to qualify for that. They did. And then they made a nice little run in the SEC tournament. I think some voodoo magic is being worked down there in Baton Rouge. I'm going to go with the Bayou Bengals.
Already.
Fayetteville Regional, Arkansas, Southeast Missouri State, Kansas State, and Louisiana Tech. Kansas State was raked this year for a brief amount of time, but it was oh so brief. It was a single week before they got swept by West Virginia. Who you got, Ben?
I'm going with Arkansas.
Yeah, I gotta agree. If there's a team, Kansas State's the only one that could really give them any issues, and I don't really believe in Kansas State right
Yeah.
now. Clemson Regional. Clemson, High Point, Coastal Carolina, and Vanderbilt. Ben, I think I know you, and I think you're picking the Vandy boys.
Yeah.
You're picking the Vandy boys.
Ew, no. No.
Oh, Chanticleers?
No. Yes, sir.
That's the one I'm going with, too.
Coastal
I
Carolina.
think Coastal is going to beat the hell out of Clemson. Clemson had a nice run in the ACC. I think this is Coastal's. Coastal's looking to get back to Omaha. They won it back in 16.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're trying to get back and prove that it was not just a one shot. Athens, Georgia Army, Georgia Tech, and UNC Wilmington.
They have the home run leader for a reason, Brock.
And if you don't listen to Big Time Talkers, this is your first time seeing us, what is the nickname that you have given to Charlie Congdon, sir?
Uh, let's see, Condong or the Dong Father.
Yes, the Dong Father. I got Georgia.
Yeah.
Tallahassee Regional, Florida State, Stetson, UCF, and Alabama.
Just going off of what I've seen and what we've talked about a little bit this year, I'd have to go Florida State.
I think the Seminoles are trying to get back. They've been on a little bit of a drought here recently. I think they're ready to make that step back. I don't know if they get past Super Regionals, but I think they're definitely going to win this region. The only one that's going to give them any issues is Bama, and I don't know if Bama's going to get past UCF. Norman Regional, Oklahoma, Oral Roberts, UConn, and Duke. I'll go first on this one.
This one's a toss-up.
No, I'll go first on this one. It's really not. Give me the ACC champions. Give me Duke. Here's why. As I mentioned earlier, in the regions of death, Duke's going to be pissed off. Like they are. They got shafted out of hosting a regional after they won their conference tournament. They won their conference. They gave it to Arizona instead of them. They gave it to Eastern Carolina instead of them. As Ben's cat goes by, I think the Duke Blue Devils are going to make a run here in this tournament. And I have a feeling, Ben, when me, you, and Tommy are in Omaha, we might be seeing a lot of that Blue D in Omaha. Give me Duke.
I mean, going off of everything that you've said as well, I would have to agree with you on going with Duke.
Raleigh Regional, NC State, Bryant, James Madison, and not Coastal Carolina, but South Carolina. I mean, I'm going to say the Wolfpack because I like the Wolfpack. I'm just going to say that. If South Carolina had impressed a little bit more in the SEC tournament, I could see them getting past the NC State, but they've really kind of fizzled out here at the end. They had a strong beginning of the year, but they've kind of just petered out as the year's gone on. So give me NC State.
And I'm just for the funniness of it, I'm gonna go James Madison.
Of course you are. Stillwater Regional, Oklahoma State, Niagara, Florida, and Nebraska. We cannot have Nebraska playing in Omaha.
That'd be rigged.
That's not even what I'm going for. Do you know how expensive all that would be?
Very.
Yes. With that being said, I don't think they get past Florida. And Mizzou swept Florida this year. Florida's turned it completely around. They had a strong showing in the tournament. They beat Tennessee in the SEC tournament. Lost to them in the championship. I think that they're going to get negated by Florida, but give me Oklahoma State. They have just been... If there is one team in the Big 12 this year that's going to represent them in Omaha, it's going to be the Pokes. It's not going to be Oklahoma. It's not going to be Texas. It's not going to be UCF. It's not going to be West Virginia. It's not going to be K-State. I think it's going to be Oklahoma State.
I'm just going to go with Florida.
Okay. Charlottesville Regional, Virginia, Penn, St. John's, and Mississippi State. Ben?
I'm going with Mississippi State.
I think it's going to be the Hoos. They've done pretty well this year, and I think they're looking to get back to Omaha. So give me the Hoos of Virginia. Tucson Regional, Arizona, Grand Canyon, West Virginia, and Dallas Baptist. If the third member of Big Time Talkers was here, you know who he would be picking. I'm just going to say...
I'm just trying to think, because...
No, go ahead.
Isn't Grand Canyon the one with all the online school ads?
Yes, they're... Yeah.
Interesting.
I think Arizona's the weakest out of all the teams that are hosting. And I know people are going to say, but they won the Pac-12. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, they won
36-21.
Yeah, they won the tournament. They won arguably the weakest the Pac-12 has ever been in baseball. And I know someone's going to say, oh, but they got 3 teams in. Yeah, they've only got 3 teams in the round of 64. Like, this was a bad year for USC, UCLA. Stanford had a bad year this year. God's sakes, them and Oregon State were both going at it, like going full tilt last year for who's going to win the Pac-12. And this year we didn't really have that. It was kind of just all Oregon State, and then they just kind of fell off at the end. But I'm going to go with Dallas Baptist, the team that's consistently been
I will have
going.
to agree.
The team that's consistently been good. West Virginia is a nice little story. Grand Canyon doesn't deserve to be here. I'm going Dallas Baptist.
I agree.
Santa Barbara Regional. UC Santa Barbara, Fresno State, Oregon, and San Diego. Whoo! This is an interesting one. This is a toss-up completely. I will let you go first, Ben.
I'm going with UCSB.
You're going with the Gauchos, huh?
Yeah, why not?
Or are they with the Banana Slugs? Which ones are they? I think they're the Gauchos. I think Santa Cruz is the Banana Slugs. Just because...
Yeah, they're the Gauchos.
Yeah. Just because I think it would be cool, I want Oregon to win this regional. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Oregon. I'll go with Oregon because them and their cross-state rival. We're running 1A and 1B all year this year for the Pac-12.
Sammy the Slug is the mascot of UC Santa Cruz.
I did get that right. Nice. Corvallis Regional, Oregon State, Tulane, Nichols, and UC Irvine. UC Irvine has been ranked for a good portion of the year this year. So was Oregon State. Tulane just got hot at the right time in the American, and Nichols State is just here. Your pick, Mr. Ben.
Oregon State. I think Tulane's going to be jet lagged.
I'm going to have to agree with you. The only one I see giving them issues is UC Irvine, and I don't know if they have the firepower to keep up with Oregon State's bullpen. Greenville Regional, East Carolina, Evansville, VCU, and Wake Forest.
I know who you're going with.
Do you?
If this was last year, yes.
Okay. Well, this is not last year. So who do you have coming out of Greenville?
I have East Carolina, of course.
Okay, well, it's Wake Forest versus all y'all. I'm going with the Deeks. I truly think they. I don't know if East Carolina. I don't know. I'm gonna say Wake Forest just to be different. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Wake Forest. So Ben, review who we have picked for each region.
For Region 1, we both have the Vols walking away with the win.
Okay.
Region 2, we both have Kentucky.
Okay.
Region 3, we both have Texas A&M.
All right.
Region 4, you have LSU, and I have North Carolina.
I think there's some voodoo magic going on right now. That's all I'm going to say.
Region 5, we both have Arkansas.
Yeah, there's no one challenging them from 5.
Region 6, we both have Coastal Carolina.
Dude, here's the only thing I'm going to say. I could see some Vandy boy black magic start happening too. I really could. They have been so quiet this year when it comes to them. I'm getting scared. I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting scared. I think this might be one of their runs, but I'm gonna stay with Coastal.
Region 7, we both have Georgia.
Yeah, there's no one there to challenge them. UC Wilmington's the only somewhat scary one there.
Region 8, we both have Florida State.
I would love it if Stetson won this, by the way. That'd be awesome.
We both have Duke for Region 9.
Yeah, it's really them or Oral Roberts, honestly.
In Region 10, you have NC State, and I have James Madison.
You just picked James Madison because it's funny.
They're an everything school.
Jesus.
In the 11th region, you have Oklahoma State, and I have Florida.
Yeah. I mean, that's the Big 12's only hope is Oklahoma State.
Yeah. In Region 12, you have Virginia, and I have Mississippi State.
Okay. Ben's liking the Cowbells.
Yeah. In Region 13, we both have DBU.
And not defensive back University. That's Dallas Baptist.
Yes. In Region 14, you have Oregon, and I have UCSB.
The Ducks, I think, are just going to turn it on here. I don't know what's going on with them.
In Region 15, we both have Oregon State.
There's just UC Irvine's the only competition. Tulane could surprise everyone and win it. I just don't see it.
And then finally in Region 16, you have Wake Forest, and I have East Carolina.
Apologies to all the Evansville and VCU baseball fans out there for not picking y'all, but I'm be honest, I didn't know VCU was having a good year until they got selected. I knew Evansville was kind of running the Missouri Valley, so. But yeah, there you go. So Ben, we have done our part. The games start today for the regions.
Games start today?
Yeah, for the regionals. As this goes up. The 31st. Right now, if you had to pick your 8 going to Omaha, who are they?
Tennessee. Coastal Carolina.
Well, that
Georgia
already can't happen. Some of these already can't happen because they're going to play each other in the regionals. So you know what? We'll just scrap that.
Yeah.
All right, let me rephrase it. Who do you think's going to be the final 2 in the College World Series right now? Because that don't matter.
Tennessee and East Carolina.
Well, they would meet in the Supers, but okay, whatever, bud.
Yeah.
If I'm picking one, If I'm picking one, I'm going A&M and Kentucky. I don't know what it is. I feel like Tennessee gets bounced in Omaha. By the way, this is totally some SEC bias from us.
Yeah.
In case you can't tell, we're Mizzou fans. So, yeah. This is totally some SEC bias, and I'm also wearing a Natural Predator shirt, even though I live in Missouri. But that's it. Ben will be back next week. We'll be joined by Tommy for the Super Regionals and the preview of that, and also the recap of the regionals. Anything you would like to plug before we go?
I think I'm good.
No podcast you want to plug that you do?
Oh, I do. We do Earning Our Stripes, the Mizzou podcast that's on my channel, Elite Tiger Sports. Yeah.
Alright, I've been Brock Gordon. I can be found on Twitter at BrockGorton99. To be in the Nigeria capitalized on that one. Ben, where can be found on Twitter?
And I can be found at Elite Tiger Sport. The E, the T, and the S are capitalized.
Next week, we'll bring you the regionals recap and also prep and previews for Super Regionals with one Mr. Tommy Haley. Until next week, folks, have a wonderful rest of your week. And stay safe. Goodbye.
Drink water.